there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at qualities about you that only others notice. So sometimes, when we're interacting with people, when we're talking to them, they notice certain qualities within us that we may not always see within ourselves. Like it's kind of like a blind spot to us, but then others see it. So this is what this reading is about. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm now going to show you crystals for each pile. So for pile number 1, we have fire agate. And we have witch at the end of the world. For pile number 2, we have this purple agate. And we have the candy cane angel. And for pile number 3, we have Goldstone. And we have Mend a Broken Heart Fairy. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to, the one that is calling out to your soul the most, and that will be a pile for today. But of course, if you're drawn to more than one pile, always trust your intuition. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number ones. If you chose this fire agate crystal and the witch at the end of the world with an important end, a new beginning, card number 45, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at qualities about you only others notice. So I was going to start your reading at 12:21, but then there was a little bit of a noise interruption, and then we actually started at 1222 on the clock. So that's a very interesting synchronicity that we're going to take a look into with your reading. And what I want to say is qualities about you only others notice. You may not necessarily see yourself this way, because remember, the way other people see us or view us, it may just be from their eyes and their perception. And if you don't see yourself this way, then you don't have to take the message as that. And if it does enlighten you to deeper parts of yourself that you haven't seen, then also take it that way. So just take the messages as they resonate. I feel with you, with Witch at the End of the World, I'm looking at her and I'm getting this vibe of in movies when it's the end of the world and everything feels so chaotic and everything's ending and everything's crashing and things are happening there, here, apocalyptic things. And, I get that vibe from this pile, that maybe you have gone through a life that felt a little bit chaotic at times, a little bit like the whole world is ending because of the things you went through in your own life. And I guess this is what others have noticed about you. And even if you have noticed this about yourself, maybe you don't fully notice it the way others do, so just keep that in mind. Or maybe they think you don't notice that, but it's like your whole world is crashing down. Everything feels so chaotic. I'm also getting this vibe of constant change. So you may have lived a life, for some of you, where there was constant change, or constant ups and downs, and there was no consistent stability or safety, or this feeling of oh, I can breathe. It's reminding me of like how I said those end of the world movies. First there's a zombie there and then they kill that zombie and then all of a sudden there's another zombie and it just feels like you just end one thing and then another problem comes. So take it as it resonates as per your own life, but I feel like people notice that maybe you've gone through quite a chaotic life that hasn't felt quite stable, that hasn't felt like you can just take a breather and rest. There's always something happening, and I feel like that constant change can mean something different for everyone here. Maybe some of you people notice that you always moved schools in the beginning years, or um, you were always moving in general. Or maybe for some of you, you lived in a chaotic household where nothing was really peaceful or stable. Or maybe some of you, it was just like life events happening, constant changes that felt like ups and downs in your life that felt really chaotic. Or maybe for others of you, I'm seeing like being adopted again and again and again for a specific message for someone here won't resonate with everyone, or that feeling like the reason maybe spirit is bringing up adoption, I think of like little kids that are being adopted and how they go to one home and they never really have a stable home until they get adopted. um so I think of the feeling of maybe feeling like you're going from one place to the next and never quite feeling like you belong. Okay, so if you resonate with that, you can take that. But yeah, that's what I'm getting from the card. And I saw a vision for your pile of Cinderella when I was looking at the time here. This representation of time and how in Cinderella, when the clock strikes midnight, the magic breaks and the carriage turns into a pumpkin again, and the horses, don't they change to mice or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, and then her dress goes back to her normal clothes. And I feel that energy of, how Cinderella, she never really got the chance to be a teenager, because at the time she was being Cinderella, she was probably a teenager. And, her stepmother would always make her work, and she never got the chance to be like her sisters and go out and have fun. But just for one day, she wanted that sense of, I want to go to this ball and have fun. She wasn't even looking for a man, she was looking to go there and dance and just enjoy herself and feel beautiful within herself. And when I think of this energy, it's maybe like people see you sort of like Cinderella in a way, regardless of your gender, where it's like maybe you have been through this constant change or chaos in your life, constant upheaval, but then it's like maybe when you go out and you're having fun, you get dressed up, you're going to have fun. You just want to be and just relax and chill and just enjoy, that day or that night. And then people see you sort of like Cinderella, this beautiful person, with all this glamour and everything like that. But then when they see that sort of illusion break and they see that, maybe you're not just this glamorous person that is like at this ball with a beautiful carriage, take it as it resonates as per your own situation. But it's like you have a deeper side to you where you've gone through things in your life and then that illusion breaks or shatters. So I feel like maybe at first people see you sort of like that glamorous character that has so much beauty or has so much attractiveness that it looks like their life is kind of like perfect. And then when you look deeper into it, it's like they've actually gone through a lot of pain in their life, and they haven't had the freedom that they wanted. Um, so it's not saying it in a bad way. It's not like people don't see you as perfect. That's, well, no one is perfect, but I mean, people first see you as glamorous, but then they see more to you, that it's not just that. Then they see, oh, this person has gone through pain, they've gone through challenges in their life, but they look so strong. They look like they look like everything is kind of going well for them, but it's not that things aren't going well for you. It's just, I think people didn't see that side of you before, you know? And then when they see that side of you, it's not a feeling of like them looking down at you or anything. It's a feeling of, oh, I can relate to that in my own way, or I can have compassion for you because, whoa, like you went through this, like, whoa. And I see it like here with an important and a new beginning. Maybe something has changed here where you have gone into this new beginning where things are not different, and you're able to have the sense of peace now. You're able to tap back into your heart space and have the sense of peace and flow back in your life. But with Witch at the End of the World, it's kind of like people see it as the way things have changed in your life. It's sort of like I used that example of Cinderella, it's sort of like something magical has happened to you and to your life where you've changed in such a vast way that it feels like you ended one story and jumped into a whole different book in the same life and are writing a whole different new book in the same life. And now it's like you're becoming a different character. Um, you're still the same you, but just a more evolved version of you. And this is what people are noticing about you, where it's like, do you see how magical that is to have that such a big change happen in your life? Or in you, like where things are completely different now? And I mean, she's green, so this gives me the impression that people have always seen you as a loving person. We're going to be using the Ethereal Visions Tarot. This is from the Shadows and Lights article. People have always seen you as a loving person, but since she's wearing black, black is the energy of protection. Maybe you were in a space where you felt the need to protect yourself, um, where people felt like they couldn't exactly get close to you at the time. But now I'm hearing the veil has been lifted. It's like you. Let me just try find the words to explain this. Spirit guides on my pile, number ones. Qualities about them only others notice. We have the Four of Wands. So some type of celebratory change here. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the King of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. And we have the Knight of Wands. At the back of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups. So I feel what I was trying to explain there is that every time certain people, this is not everyone, but like certain people tried to get close to you, it's like they could see you were a loving person, but then it was like maybe you didn't want to let them in to see your situation that you were in. Does that make sense? With the Five of Pentacles, like an example I see here of the energies, like let's say Um, Someone here grew up with not a lot of money, and let's say, your friends wanted to come over when you were younger, and you were like, no, it's okay, we can go to your house. It's not like you're pushing them away, but it felt like there was this there was this closeness, but it felt like there was still some kind of guard up. And like that's just an example of the energy, but maybe some of you, like I said, grew up in chaotic homes, and like you didn't want other people to see the situation you were in, or um like that type of energy. Where there were maybe like unmet needs here with the Five of Pentacles. That could be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, you know. But I feel here maybe people didn't see that side to you at first. Maybe they just saw this Four of Wands energy, picture perfect energy, but they didn't see what was really going on behind the scenes. And I feel I'm hearing the word villain era, and I feel like maybe this pile had dealt with codependency, or this feeling of like wanting to people please. And I feel like at some point in your life with the King of Swords, you went through a little bit of a quote unquote villain era, but it's not really a villain era, but you were protecting yourself more, you were setting boundaries more, you were speaking up for yourself more. With the fire agate, I see it as some kind of like dragon arose in you. This dragon that's now protecting you. And I feel the throat chakra energies. It was like this dragon rose within you, and for the first time, people were seeing this dragon within you breathe fire, and it's not in a bad way. It's a very powerful way where for the first time others are noticing your power, where others are noticing it in such a big, powerful way where it seemed like some kind of sudden shift here with the Knight of Wands. And it's like, whoa. But then there's this feeling of respect for you. Um, and this feeling of, with the horse, I get the vibe of like you freeing yourself from whatever was holding you back or holding you down in some way in your life. And I guess with the Five of Pentacles, it doesn't just have to be childhood. Like maybe some of you were married or in certain relationships, or living with a person where things weren't going well, or you, it doesn't matter what the situation was, but it just felt like a very chaotic situation where you didn't necessarily have everything you needed or you wanted. And it's like you freed yourself from that situation. And I see the dragon within you almost like putting you on its back and transporting you to another place, flying you away, and like building a home for you where things can now be different, where you can have that freedom. Does that make sense? It's what I'm trying to get to. The point I'm trying to get to here is, as you have done this, as you have gone through these changes, it wasn't easy. A lot of patience was required. But to others with the Knight of Wands, it seemed like a sudden shift or change happened in your life where everything just changed at once. To others, it seemed that way, but to you, maybe it took a long time. Just like, how Cinderella's dress changed so quickly. I feel that energy. And what the point I'm trying to get to here is the qualities about you only others notice is how you've taken back your power from situations that other people look at it and it's like, if I was in that situation, I would be stuck. I would be low. I would not know how to get out of that. I would not have that type of power to get out of it. And even if we don't see any cards about power, I feel the energies of the dragon and this power, and I'm kind of reading between the lines here. So I guess the quality about you only others notice is how much power you have within, how much strength you have within to have liberated yourself. I'm seeing like the dragon breathe fire and burn away the shackles that were keeping you stuck. And, you freeing yourself from that. This celebratory energy here with the Four of Wands in the middle of the reading. And it's now like your life has completely changed in a way where there is more peace with the Four of Swords, where you're protecting your peace at all costs. You're still this very bright, loving person, and you do want to feel the joy and the celebration of living life. I mean, we have the Ten of Cups here, and experience beautiful, profound, loving relationships in your life that make your heart feel like rainbows are happening in your heart, and the rainbow after the storm. So people are seeing the contrast and the difference of your life and how the rainbow has happened after the storm. And the quality about you only others notice is how much strength you have to be able to go through that journey and reach the end of it and still be okay, but still, have your heart open to the connections that are going to come in with good intentions and with love, but then also, protecting yourself at the same time, protecting your peace. And it's now like you can experience this energy of celebration and enjoying your life. So the qualities about you that only others notice is your strength, but also how you're still able to stay this loving, happy person, how you're still able to experience joy even after these things. And even if you notice this within yourself, maybe others notice it in a more mind-blowing way than you do. Because it's like when we live our life, we don't really see it the way others see it. And I feel what others notice that you don't is how inspired others are by you and your story. So, what you don't realize is others are noticing that you are exactly where you are meant to be and that you're on the right track, you're on the right path. It's like I see people almost like applauding for you and rooting for you and saying, keep positive, even when those challenges come your way, keep positive because it's like, keep going. What is that thing Dory says? Just keep swimming. So, I think that's what people see. This very new beginning and how much patience it took, but to them it felt like something so quick. So I'm going to use the Starseed Oracle deck and just get 2 last cards to end off the reading. So, what others notice that they don't about them? Big picture thinking with Pleiades energy, visionary and inspired ideas. Other people's perspective is like, if I was in that situation, I would be distraught. But somehow this person, my pile number 1, still had hope for a better future. They kept that vision in their mind. And eventually it became a reality. And that's just like so mind-blowing to people. We have surrender to the sweetness with Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And now people are seeing you as a person that can experience this joy in your life, this energy of surrendering to the beautiful, sweet moments, because you've gone through your rock bottom moments here with cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. You've gone through your rock bottom moments, but it has shown you your power, and it's almost like people are seeing it as, if you went through that and you survived that, you can survive anything, and nothing is gonna break you. You're like the phoenix rising. You always rise above it. This is what others notice about you. and how you're able to truly enjoy the pleasures of life right now, because it's like almost like going back to Cinderella and how she never had that freedom. But I'm sure when she finally experienced that, it was the most beautiful feeling for her to be able to feel that joy, that she so that freedom that she so much wanted, and that would bring her joy, you know. So people are now seeing you come back to this energy of love as well, where it's like you don't need to protect yourself as much, where you can just experience that love in front of you, love for life, love for self, love for others, that joy for life, and experience this flow of sweetness, you know? And the fact that you surrendered and trusted is something people see as so hopeful and inspiring. What you don't notice is that others see you as an inspiration. So, this is what I see in your reading. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number twos. If you chose this purple agate crystal and the candy cane angel with It's Time for a Treat card number 37, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at qualities about you only others notice. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. And please also note what others notice about you may not necessarily ring true to how you see yourself. But if this reading is enlightening and helps you see into different parts of yourself that maybe you didn't notice but others do, then take the messages as they resonate, you know. Okay, so we're going to be using this Shadows of Light Oracle deck here with this card, and then the Ethereal Visions Tarot. So, what I feel from your pile, and even if you do notice these things, you know, maybe you don't notice it as much as others people do. So, we see a candy cane angel here. So, what you don't realize is that other people see you as an angel. Other people see you as someone so cute. Like, your cuteness is the first thing I see that others notice about you, but you may not realize how cute you actually are and how much of an angel and how much of a sweetheart you actually are. I feel like all your life you've been someone that has been the trusted friend, that has been that one person everyone can go to and rely on, and you've always been extremely sweet with your words. I mean, there is actually a funny thing here. So there's like a mosquito flying around. I don't know why, because it's in the day. I thought mosquitoes only came out at night, but it's like flying around, and I always make jokes like the mosquitoes like me because my blood is sweet. But it's like here we see the sweetness with you, so it's a confirmation here. It's like everyone likes you, everyone is drawn to you, even people that are jealous of you, or you know, they don't necessarily come to you with the best intentions, even they are really drawn to you, and even on some level they really like you. And that's maybe something you don't notice, because your angelic pure nature, it warms up people's hearts even when they don't want to open up their heart. Like, I'm even picking up on people that are I'm sure you saw the mosquito there. I'm even picking up on people that are like quite closed off in their heart space, and it's like, you know, you come to them and you give them a certain amount of love, and it's like you just spread the sweetness everywhere you go. Like, you're so sweet, you know? And to them, it's like what you don't see is you even open up their hearts a little bit. Like, I'm physically seeing clairvoyantly an image of, let's say, someone you are saying something sweet to, and let's say they're someone really closed off and they don't like to open up their heart to open up their emotions, and it's like they're very stoic, and you say that to them and they usually don't smile, and then all of a sudden there is a little bit of a smile coming up on their face, but maybe you don't realize it, that even they start to warm up to you. And it's like, what you don't realize is how sweet and cute you are, that you are like that sweet treat at the end of the day that everyone needs, that makes everyone feel better. Because I know me, like on certain days, like when you're just having a bad day and then you eat ice cream and then you instantly feel better. I feel like you have that effect on people. And it's sort of like I'm looking at your crystal and it kind of reminds me of a frozen grape, and how they say that if you don't want to eat ice cream, you should substitute it for frozen grapes. And I'm getting the vibe like, even if people try to substitute you, like, I'm picking up on maybe people from your past, like, let's say they try to find someone else that looks like you or acts like you, even if they try to substitute you and get someone similar to you, it never fully feels like you. It's like you're that ice cream, and that frozen grape doesn't really taste like the ice cream, but they try to make it taste like the ice cream and pretend that it tastes like ice cream. Does that make sense? I know that's a really unconventional way of reading it, but like I'm getting that vibe from you. Like you're one of a kind, and maybe that's something others notice about you. Like you can't be replaced. That song Irreplaceable by Beyonce may be significant. Is it irreplaceable? I don't know. Um, but it's like you can't be replaced. The things you say can't be replaced. Your kind heart, your gracefulness can't be replaced. Maybe you see this in some level, but maybe others just notice it more because, like, I'm thinking of certain times, when you eat like ice cream or you eat chocolates and it's something that you kind of indulge in. So people see you as someone they sort of like indulge in. Like you're that one person that maybe brightens their day, or you're that one person that just always knows how to make them feel better. And I feel like you're that sort of indulgence of pleasure. And maybe that's something you don't realize, like how much pleasure people feel just being around you in your presence, and your kind-hearted nature. And your kind-hearted nature, and just how much people crave for you sometimes. Because, like certain people, they're like, let's just compare you to sweets and say, like, let's say this person's on a diet, but maybe that's a metaphor for they live far from you, or maybe they don't know you yet, but they crave a person like you, but they don't know what they crave yet, or they don't know you yet. They haven't seen you yet, actually, to taste you in a non weird way. I mean that as a metaphor, like to get to experience you as a friend, as a lover, as a. I don't mean that in a weird way, I promise. But it's like maybe even sometimes it's like people crave you, but you don't realize how much they crave you and crave your presence, because it's like, let's say certain people will miss you, but you don't realize how much they really miss you. Because it's like certain days you really want something sweet to eat, but you don't have anything in your fridge. And it's like, I feel that vibe from you. And then I'm also getting the vibe of like certain people that, how I said certain people that even dislike you, even like open up to you even more than, and then it's like, it's sort of like they're angry at themselves because you're so likable and they can't prevent themselves from liking you. But I feel certain people that indulge in you too much, and that I take as they take advantage of your kindness or your sweetness. Just like we can indulge in chocolate or sweets so much that it like makes us sick to our stomach, I hear. And then you'll get certain people that are like just wanting you for that indulgence, but then like they indulge too much in you and they take advantage of your kind and sweet nature. But then there is a comeback here to them that they don't realize, where it may actually affect them in a negative way. So I don't know why Spirit is showing me this in this way, but like, you know how we can eat too much sweets and we can gain weight. But it's like if people rely on your kind nature too much, it can affect them negatively in a way, because they're kind of like taking advantage of your kindness in a sense. And maybe it depletes you, but it also um does something to them in a negative way. And then I feel like then you sort of like taking back to that frozen grape energy. You're like, no, I'm no longer in your life. Like, although you're sweet, you're not gonna let people take advantage of your kindness. Then you're like, no, I'm no longer in your life. And then now they have to stick to frozen grapes. And they don't even like frozen grapes, but they want you like this sweet treat, but now they have to stick to frozen grapes because they took too much advantage of you. Does that make sense? Like, I hope that makes sense. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. So spirit guides on my pile number twos. Qualities about them that only others notice. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Ah, grapes. Oh my gosh, I love that. We have the Ten of Pentacles, more grapes. That's just confirmation of what I'm saying here. Okay, we have the Nine of Wands. We have the King of Cups. And we have the Strength card. At the back of the deck, we have the Fool. So what I'm noticing in your cards is there's a dog here as well as here in the Fool. And dogs represent loyalty and unconditional love. I feel like you already know that about yourself. But maybe you don't see it to the extent others see it, like how loyal you are, how much of a ride or die you are, how much of a good friend, family member, or romantic partner you are. Like, maybe you don't see it to the extent others see it as, like, this sounds a little bit extreme, but like, I'm hearing, I would kill for a person like you. Like, I would do anything for a person like you in my life. And you'll get certain people that don't know you think about certain characteristics they want in a friend and a partner, and they'll think of someone with characteristics like you. And then when people do meet you, it's like, I've been wanting this all my life, you know? And I feel that energy, like maybe you don't realize the way people see you in that sense. How valued you are and how desired you are by people. Not in like a sexual way, but like just how desired you are to have a person like you around, you know? Cuz with the 10 of Pentacles here, I feel like you really embody this energy of like, if you are part of my circle, I'm going to take care of you forever. Like, you know, I'm always going to do things for you. I'm always going to spoil you. I'm always going to take you out for coffee, or when you need help, I'll be by your side. Like that type of energy. And I feel that, but I also feel here with the Queen of Pentacles, you know, one thing I'll say is you are someone really sweet, And people may see you as very cute, but then you're also very grounded. You're also very smart. You're also very intelligent. You have a lot more wisdom to you. And that comes from your physical life and certain challenges you've been through with the Nine of Wands. And it's like, yes, you're sweet and cute, but you can also be this type of person that is maybe even like a person that becomes really successful in their career or successful in different aspects of their life, because it's like you're not just sweet and cute, you also have that intelligence to you, and you're able to kind of create the things you do want to have in your physical reality. So I see it as an independence. I see it as Queen of Pentacles energy. Like, if I need to eat something, I'm going to cook something for myself. If I need money, I'm going to go make that money for myself. Like, I see it in that type of energy. And as I'm looking at the coin, it kind of looks like it's shimmering. So maybe like what people are noticing is how valuable you are as a person, like how you're like gold that is very rare to find, like you're a rare gem. Because I feel like you also love to take care of others, you're very nurturing, and you also have those other sides to you where it's like you tick all the boxes, like I said, of like what people would want in a person around them. And like how much of a treasure you are, I guess. And I've never seen this card actually shimmer. Like, I think it's maybe the angle I'm sitting at where I'm like seeing the coin shimmer in some type of way. And with the Nine of Wands, I feel like you've gone through certain challenges in your life. You're maybe someone that feels things on a much deeper level than most, but you've gone through certain challenges in life, yet you still remain emotionally balanced and emotionally mature, and you gain certain wisdom from those situations, and you're able to take those challenging situations and emotionally regulate after that, which most people have a hard time doing, emotionally regulating, even if they're not someone that feels things so deeply. So I see it as you're so in tune with your emotional side that you are also able to, like, maybe some people would see it as like, oh, this person is very emotional, they probably can't control their emotions, but then they actually see the deeper side to you. And like, I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but like, I've even had people think that of me. And then it's like they actually see deeper and they see, oh, this person's actually a lot more emotionally mature than even I am. And they actually have a lot of wisdom from that. They actually know how to control their own emotions and gain the strength and the wisdom through challenging moments. So I feel like that's maybe like qualities in you only others people see. And maybe you've noticed it within yourself, but I feel like other people see it, but they don't necessarily tell you. Why don't they tell them? I'm hearing the word pride, ego. So it's like, you kind of baffle people because it's like they thought you were one way and then you're actually another. And it's like they're too proud to actually like say, hey, like, whoa, you're actually a really emotionally mature person. You actually have a lot of strength within you, to be able to go through challenging situations and still even remain optimistic, with the Fool card. So we're going to be using the Starseed Oracle deck to get two lost cards, and then I'm going to end off your reading. So basically, what I saw here is how sweet you are, how desired you are, how you're able to warm up people's hearts, how you're one of a kind, you can't be replaced, you're a rare gem, how you're able to find that emotional balance, optimism even after challenges, that strength within you. So those are the qualities about you that only others notice. We have jump in Andromedan energy with adventure, say yes to change. And what others notice about you, this kind of reminds me of the Fool card. Like you're able to fully jump into connections, into uh, projects, into things you want to start, even with the Queen of Pentacles, and fully immerse yourself in the process. And with the eye here, I get this vibe like because you are someone so in touch with your emotions, you're also someone that can see into the other realms. You're someone that has an amazing imagination and visionary element to you. But you're also quite psychic. You can see things, and that's something others notice where it's like, whoa, like, because it's sort of like she's jumping into a universe here where it's like, whoa, but it sort of looks like water and a rainbow at the same time. So it's just like a very trippy experience, I hear, for people to see how intuitive you are and how much of a visionary quality you have to you, where when you really jump into something and see it as an adventure and say yes to that change and say yes to that leap of faith, you actually create something more from that. We have the blue flame with spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. I feel this is like you awakening people to love, you awakening people to their own strength as well, because it's like people see how unique you are. The courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. People see how unique you are, how you're able to be yourself in the world. People see how actually courageous you are to open up your heart deeply to others. People see that it takes a lot of courage to even feel your emotions, to process them, to regulate them, to remain strong even in moments of challenges, and to remain optimistic. It's like for you to put yourself out there in that way, that takes a lot of courage. And um, that is something that actually takes a lot more strength than just closing off our heart. Because it's easy to close off our heart, to be in our comfort zone. But to open up our heart, that takes up a lot of courage, because when we open up our heart, other people's actions, we don't have control over that. They can hurt us. But what good is a life where we close ourselves off to every experience because we don't want to get hurt? It's like this jump in card. You fully jump into it and take a leap of faith, and that awakens people in some way. And this is, maybe what they don't exactly tell you, like how much you awaken them, how much you maybe even show them a different perspective. So this is the qualities about you that only others notice. So I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number threes. If you chose this Goldstone crystal and the Mend of Broken Heart Fairy with Healing from Heartache, card number 36, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at qualities about you that only others notice. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. And please also note that, this is other people's perceptions. And if it doesn't necessarily resonate, other people's perceptions, it's through their eyes. So I'd say if it doesn't necessarily resonate, don't take it too much. But if it does enlighten you to a part of yourself that you've never seen, then also take that message as it resonates. And what I also want to say is maybe you see some of it within yourself, but maybe you don't see it to the full extent that others do. So with the Mend a Broken Heart Fairy you chose, I'm looking at her and I'm getting this vibe like, you know how fairies are quite light and they are quite expressive, quite witty, and they're just very light-hearted and fun. And when I think of fairies, they can also be a little bit mischievous, but when I was younger, I always thought fairies were like so playful and so cute. But then as I grew up, also being in the spiritual community, you'll hear like some people, well, I'm not sure. You'll hear some people will say like, "Oh, don't mess with the fae. They can be dangerous and blah 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 blah." But I don't know. I don't really see it that way, and I could be wrong because like I've clairvoyantly seen fairies of my own, and they seem pretty like peaceful, and they seem very light-hearted, and like they're just like in their own element. When I saw a fairy once, it kind of looked like a green fairy, and it was like just twirling around like a ballerina, and it looked so cute. Clairvoyantly, I saw it, and I feel like they're not like that. Maybe they can be if you scare them, or but maybe I'm also wrong. But like I get this vibe from your reading, like maybe you've had certain people that see this fun, expressive, light-hearted side of you, and if they're able to open up to that and be like that and be open with you and be playful with you, they'd have such a good fun experience, as if they're like a human almost being taken to another world of fairies, of magic, of pixie dust, like where it just feels like such a magical experience. And I think maybe that's what others notice about you, that maybe you don't quite grasp yet, like how magical you can be and how you sort of like take people to a different dimension when you're around them. Like it's like an experience being surrounded by you, a very rare experience, because how often can a person say they've seen a fairy? Like you hear about it in mythology from different cultures, but can you really find someone that says, I've seen a fairy? But like I get that vibe from you, but then you may also have certain people that have a misconception of you, and because they've never seen this mystical magical world before, it's like they're a little bit scared of it. They don't know what to expect from you, and then it's like they don't fully open up to the experience, and then maybe out of fear, it's like they have their protective guard up. And I'm seeing some people have hurt you because they've projected like their own fears, their own insecurities onto you, because I'm seeing you as a very loving, fairy here, because she even has hearts in her wings. And I see you sort of like a fairy that wants to give love to everyone, that wants to sprinkle love everywhere you go. And then I see, like, for example, a person, like a mean person that's like, oh, there's a fairy. There shouldn't be fairies here. Like, and then they're trying to shoot this fairy with an arrow, but it's like this fairy's now wing is like broken and she can't fly and she's in pain, but she didn't do anything to harm this mean person. Um, so I'm getting the vibe like maybe you've had certain people kind of project onto you out of their own shadow self and out of their own like meanness and out of their own insecurities. And I feel like you're so comfortable being yourself in the world. You're so comfortable being your unique, different self in the world and being this mystical version of yourself. Because I mean, I'm even looking at this fairy and she looks like she is being herself in the world, because she's she has like a different kind of hair here where it's like a greenish blue, like turquoisey color, but then there's also like black highlights, and she's wearing what she wants to wear, and like dark lipstick. So she's expressing herself in the world, and maybe that's you. And like maybe you've had certain people project insecurities onto you because it's like you're expressing yourself in the world and you are comfortable with yourself, and to them it seems like you're really confident in yourself to be that comfortable being yourself in the world. And then it's like they project their own insecurities onto you because of that. Or maybe they even wish they could be a fairy, but they and then they try to make you like seem bad or see yourself as bad, but it's not like that. Do you get what I mean? Or they try to like hurt your heart in some way. And I feel like you've had certain people take advantage of your light-hearted like playfulness, like this kind of sort of inner child wonderland, I'm thinking of those movies where, like, let's say a fairy trusts a human and then they trust this human, then all of a sudden this human just shows a different side to them and they were lying to them all along, and they actually expose them to people, and the fairy told them not to tell anyone, like I'm getting almost that vibe of like betrayal here. Like maybe you've trusted certain people and they've betrayed your trust, and that really hurt your heart. I'm feeling like a solar plexus pain and healing, okay? And I feel like you've been healing from this heartache of betrayal from others, of, like others projecting onto you, of others not treating you the way you were treating them, like you never deserved any of that. And I feel like even how she looks like there's so much tears coming down her face. It looked like she didn't expect this to happen to her, you know? But I feel like you went through a process of mending your broken heart, putting your broken heart back together and processing your emotions, letting the tears fall, crying them out, and then putting yourself back together. Like I'm almost seeing, why do I keep seeing Sally from what is the Nightmare Before Christmas, I think. I saw her in another pick a card reading like a few days ago, but probably because it's Halloween time. And I'm seeing her like with all the stitches around her body, and like maybe her legs are falling off and her arms are falling off, but like she's stitching herself back together, back to one piece. And I feel like that's maybe a metaphor for like you and how things have felt like they have fallen apart within you, but it's like you stitched yourself back up together and mended yourself in a way. And although you were never fully healed, like we can never fully be healed, the healing isn't linear. And what I've learned from the healing journey is, even though we never fully let go of it, the pain gets less and less and less. Just like when we break a broken bone, like it hurts for a while, but then it heals. But then eventually it gets less and less and less sore, and then it heals. But what I've learned from the healing journey is like we don't always forget those memories, but we're able to get a chance to make new memories, and then those old memories kind of like fall away until they get fainter and fainter. And what I feel from this pile, the points I'm trying to make here. Oh yeah, I'm like, let me tell you the song I'm hearing. I'm hearing the song Suffer by Green Tea Peng. I feel in the song, she's talking about her being such an empathic person that she can feel and see other people's pain, even if they don't show it, obviously. Like, they don't show that they're in pain, or they don't say that they're in pain, but like other people can see it. Um, and it comes through as quite empathic. And I was hearing the line where she's like, you look away and I see your pain, or something like that. So I feel like the point I'm trying to make here is like, yes, you do know this. You do know that you have experienced heartbreak, but it's like maybe what you don't realize is other people that are looking at your journey and looking at how you have mended your broken heart are looking at you and seeing your pain, even though it's not spoken. But they're seeing the inner strength that it takes to mend your broken heart, to keep going even after painful moments in your life. And, we just see a little fairy here. We wouldn't expect this little fairy to be so strong, but you have so much inner strength within you to be able to do this. And what I'm seeing here, since you chose this very beautiful, shiny crystal, is what you don't see is that those people that did project onto you, it's like they saw you as this shiny fairy with so much pixie dust around you, and it's like they felt angry because they wanted to be a fairy but they couldn't be, or they felt insecure, like maybe that's what you don't realize but others notice about you, like, is that people projected onto you because you shine so much. um Maybe you don't realize to the extent that they do. And this crystal kind of reminds me of like a diamond, and like a diamond in the making, like a diamond goes under pressure first before it becomes a diamond. And I feel like maybe what you're not seeing about yourself that others are seeing is you went through all this pressure and now you are transforming into a diamond. Like all this pressure you were put under is transforming you into a diamond. And that's like what you're not seeing is what I'm seeing. Does that make sense? Um, so I feel like I'm probably part of this pile. So spirit guides on my pile number threes. What qualities others notice about them they don't see? Yeah, the star, healing, hope. And through this, through you shining your light, becoming this diamond, it's like you're gonna shine even brighter now. We have the Strength card. And the Three of Swords. The Page of Swords. And the Four of Wands. At the back of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. It's like a horror movie. I haven't watched it before, so I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean, like if it's symbology for something. But the way I was hearing it, it was almost like, I don't know if this sounds correct or not, but like I was almost hearing it as like the Scooby-Doo gang saying it, like I don't know if that makes sense. Like I was hearing it sort of like their voice. And the Scooby-Doo characters, they always catch the person. Oh, they said Jeepers. Maybe that's why I heard it like that. But they always catch the monster and then they're like justice happens in the end. So I feel like maybe what people are noticing is like, even in situations where certain people try to make you the bad guy, like maybe they actually get to see you were actually innocent. But that's something you knew all along, of course, but I don't know why Spirit is telling it like that. And with the star, you've healed from certain things in your life that seemed like a horror, like that seemed like something very tragic to go through, You still shine bright even after that. And you even shine even brighter because you're now being formed into a diamond. And I feel like with the Page of Swords, I feel like through this you've learned wisdom. You've learned to get curious as to how to heal that wound and how to. I know the Page of Swords is like usually about speaking our truth and everything, but I'm getting this vibe of like getting curious as to, like, yes, how we can speak our truth to protect ourselves, but not just that. I see it's like getting curious as to how we can speak to others and ourselves to spread more love in the world. With the Two of Cups, in a very courageous way, because it takes a lot of courage to open up your heart so freely. And it takes a lot of strength to heal from what you've healed from and still be able to look forward to positive moments in your life with the Four of Wands. Uh, celebratory milestones and moments in your life. So people see it as like, you've turned into this diamond after being under pressure, and it's like now you're celebrating that sort of transformation you've been through. Even though it wasn't easy to go through, it transformed you in some way. Like you healing from that transformed you in some way. Um, and this is even a healing symbol here on the Two of Cups. And it's like coming back to love after experiencing pain and hurt. That takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of strength. Still staying a loving person even after being hurt. So I'm now going to end off with two of these oracle cards from the Starseed Oracle deck. So Spirit Guides of my pile number 3s. We have Forge, Don't Follow with Pave a New Path, Be the Leader You Wish You Had. And we have Cold with Soul Gifts and Training, It's Time to Step Up. At the back of the deck, we have the Golden Children with Inner Child, Tenderness, Innocence, and Rare Gifts. So I see here maybe like what you don't see but others see is you are a leader. You're forging a path here as we see, and you're showing others, it's okay to be that inner child. Like maybe if an adult sees a fairy, they're like, oh, like they run away because they're scared. But if a child sees a fairy, they're not gonna run. They're probably gonna play with the fairy and dance with the fairy and be all playful and magical. And I feel like somehow you're teaching people to get back in touch with the inner child by you just being you. It's like you're being your own leader by following your own path and being your authentic mystical self. Maybe not even mystical self, but just your authentic self in the world, because you're very unique and different. That you teach people to get back in touch with that inner child version of us, with that kind of wonder for the world, with that kind of feeling of like seeing the world with color and magic and beauty, you know? And I feel like that's maybe something others notice within you, that others see within you, that it's a gift, to open up your heart so deeply. Like, you know how children open up their hearts, but they don't fear hurt or pain, or they don't fear trusting someone because, a child's natural state is love, and playfulness, and they're not fearing going on the jungle gym and hurting themselves because they want to play. And I feel like that energy here, like it's almost like you're an adult teaching people to come back to that fearlessness. But to you maybe it doesn't seem like fearlessness, but to others it seems like fearlessness, to be able to open up your heart and to be able to uh, be such a light in the world, and to be able to fall back into this energy where it's like it's okay to play, it's okay to have fun, it's okay to enjoy. Like not everything needs to be so serious. Like we can step back and enjoy this moment, because I feel like a lot of the times in the world, as adults, we're taught to put ourselves last. We're taught, okay, work must come first. We need to do this. We need to take care of our responsibilities. And it's like children get that time to play and live out their lives as children. But it's like as adults, sometimes we forget that part of ourselves. And I feel like that's sort of like what you're teaching people. And I'm seeing that, like, yeah, this is what I see in your reading. I really hope this reading resonates. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!